So we're going to talk about mechanics here as an end to our first course. And I like to tell people that basically you just want to run like Carl. Carl is really tall. He's upright. He's not leaning forward, not leaning backwards. So being tall is really important. Marcellus Moore, my great sprinter that you saw earlier, is only 5'6". But you don't notice it when he runs because he runs like he's like 5'9". He runs tall. You notice it when you walk up next to him. Say, man, I didn't know you're so short. But you see that Carl has the high knee with the foot underneath the knee. Remember, that's the cocked hammer that's going to give you great vertical force. All of your force is going to go down into the track, so you don't want your foot lagging behind. And then the third thing is that backhand needs to be about 12 inches past the glute. The hand has to cross the hips. Now, I know Carl, and he told me that he focuses on elbow to the sky in the back. But if your hand goes that far back behind your glute, your elbow is going to go to the sky. This comes from my friend Jonas Dodu. Jonas hosted me in Ireland and England, actually in England last year. I had different hosts in Ireland to do some workshops. Now, these two guys both look pretty good. Probably the same guy. But the guy on the right is doing it better. The guy on the right, the foot is a little bit more under the knee. It's not lagging back. And then also that knee is higher and the guy is more upright, much more upright. So even though both of these are pretty good examples of great sprinting, the one on the right is a little bit more optimum. Now, why am I telling you this stuff? Well, one of the things you need to do when you are speed training, even if you're solo, buy a dang little tripod and put your iPhone on there and record your videos. You know, you want to see what you look like as a sprinter and know what you're looking for. Now, Michael Johnson was one of the greatest of all times, but I'm kind of kidding. Don't be like Mike. Mike ran a little bit funny, and he was very good at what he did, and he had incredible turnover and great strength and all that stuff. But as you can see, this is not like the picture perfect situation like Carl Lewis. Now, before you probably should be thinking, like as a sprint coach, would you have tried to change Michael Johnson? The answer is hell no. I think he was running, sub 20s in the 200 when he was 18 years old. So, basically what you want to do is keep this guy from getting hurt because he's, just an amazing sprinter. But when I'm working with 15-year-olds, I don't want my 15-year-olds, doing this. I'd much rather look like Deja Stevens. Look at this. Hand past the hip, running really tall. You got that gun cocked really well. You got the foot underneath the knee. She's ready to put down some massive vertical force, and that's why that massive vertical force is why she's airborne. Great sprinters fly down the track because they hit the ground with so much force that their foot's only on the ground for less than 1/10 of a second. Elite sprinters spend about 0.08 seconds on the ground. Everything we do is trying to reinforce these things. Here we're just doing A-skips like Michael was doing earlier during speed drills. And you see the hand crossing hip. Is he tall? Hell yeah. Knee up. It's exaggerated even. And foot under the knee. We're doing all those things right. Oh, and you can tell by his face how focused this guy is. That's just a great pick. This is Marcellus. Now, his foot, Marcellus, kind of like Michael, his foot lagged back just a little bit, but he did everything else so well. We're talking 10:31 as a 15-year-old. That's pretty good. That's win legal. That's the state of Illinois record. He graduated early this year, so he could go to Purdue at the age of 17, and he got third in the Big Ten in the 60. Third in the Big Ten in the 60 as a 17-year-old, like high school senior running in the Big Ten.